Today, I'm going to take you through one of the most powerful and widely used techniques in molecular biology, the polymerase chain reaction or PCR. This single technique has transformed research, diagnostics, forensics, agriculture, medicine, you name it. By the end of this narration, you will clearly understand not just what PCR does, but how it works, why each chemical is needed, and how we actually perform it in the lab. Let's start with the objective. The objective of PCR is very simple, to amplify a specific DNA fragment. If you have even a tiny amount of DNA, sometimes just a few molecules, PCR can make millions of copies of a selected region. This is why PCR is essential when you want to detect a gene, confirm the presence of a pathogen, prepare DNA for sequencing or cloning, or screen for mutations. Now, let's move to the core principle. PCR mimics the natural process of DNA replication, but in a controlled test tube environment. We use temperature changes instead of cellular machinery. The entire process depends on three main steps: denaturation, annealing, and extension. In the denaturation step, the reaction mixture is heated to about 94 to 98 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, the hydrogen bonds between the two strands of DNA break, allowing the double stranded DNA to separate into two single strands. Next comes annealing. The temperature is lowered to around 50 to 68 degrees Celsius. At this point, short DNA sequences called primers bind or anneal to their specific complementary sequences on the template DNA. We use two primers, a forward primer and a reverse primer, because DNA is amplified from both sides of the target region. Then we move to extension. The temperature is raised to about 72 degrees Celsius, which is the optimal working temperature for Taq polymerase. This enzyme adds nucleotides DATP, DTTP, DCTP, and DGTP to extend the primers and synthesize a new strand of DNA. After each complete cycle, the amount of target DNA essentially doubles, leading to exponential amplification. Now, let me walk you through the materials and explain why each one is important. First, we have the template DNA, the sample that contains the sequence we want to amplify. Next are the primers. These short, single stranded sequences are extremely important because they decide which portion of the DNA will be amplified. Primers provide the free 3OH group that DNA polymerase needs to start synthesis. Then we add DNTPs, the nucleotides that act as the building blocks. Without these, the polymerase has nothing to add to the growing DNA strand. The star of PCR is Taq polymerase, a heat stable enzyme originally isolated from Thermus aquaticus, a bacterium that lives in hot springs. It survives high temperatures, which makes PCR possible. One of the most important components is the PCR buffer, usually supplied as a 10x stock solution. The buffer typically contains tris HCl to maintain the pH, KCl to stabilize primer binding, and MgCl2, which is absolutely essential because magnesium ions act as cofactors for the polymerase. They help stabilize the DNA primer enzyme complex. Too much magnesium can lead to non-specific amplification, and too little can result in weak or no amplification, so its concentration must be optimized. We also use nuclease free water and high quality sterile PCR tubes that allow fast heat transfer. Throughout setup, we use filter tips and work on ice to prevent contamination and premature reactions. Now, let's go through the step by step procedure in a lab manual style. The first step is preparing the master mix. This contains everything except the DNA template, buffer, DNTPs, primers, magnesium ions, water, and the tag polymerase. Preparing a master mix reduces pipetting errors and minimizes contamination. Once the master mix is ready, we add the template DNA at the end. After a gentle mix and brief spin, the tubes go into the thermal cycler. The machine is programmed with the initial denaturation, 25 to 35 cycles of denaturation, annealing extension, followed by a final extension and then a holding stage at 4 degrees Celsius. After amplification, we verify the PCR product using agarose gel electrophoresis. This helps us check whether we obtained the expected band size, whether any non-specific bands were formed, or whether primers, dimers are present. Now, let's talk about precautions. PCR is extremely sensitive. Even a single contaminating DNA strand can be amplified. So, we always use filter tips, change gloves frequently, avoid opening tubes after amplification, and set up reactions on ice. It's also a good practice to include a negative control containing no DNA. Some important notes to remember. Primer design is critical for success. A poorly designed primer can ruin your entire experiment. The annealing temperature must be carefully optimized based on the primer melting temperature. The magnesium concentration affects both specificity and yield, and using a hot start polymerase can prevent non-specific amplification. Finally, in terms of applications, PCR is used everywhere from disease diagnosis like COVID or HIV detection to forensics, wildlife conservation, agricultural pathogen screening, cancer mutation analysis, and genetic engineering. In summary, PCR is an elegant technique that takes advantage of controlled temperature cycles and a thermostable enzyme to amplify DNA with incredible precision. Understanding the purpose of each reagent, optimizing reaction conditions, and following strict precautions allow us to generate clean and specific amplification products. This technique remains the foundation of modern molecular biology.